Well, hello. Hey, it's Bobby, aka Paginator, and I'm filming in my mom's house again. School's out, and I've been hanging out in Utah, so I went to see a play with my good friend. We went book shopping. I went book shopping some more by myself, and also thrift shopping, so we've got a big haul to do. Let's go. So we're gonna start with the crafty stuff, and these things are all bought at thrift stores. There's a thrift store chain called Deseret Industries, and I hit one in Salt Lake and then another one up in Idaho, which I'll explain why in a minute. So let's start with what I got at the Salt Lake Deseret Industries. Okay, so we have this this funny guest book. It's called Bathroom Guest Book. Please sign in while sitting down. And I opened it up hoping to find some entries in there, because I had really hoped that someone had written some entries before they donated it, and no one had. But there are all these pages you could fill out called Welcome to My Bathroom. Put the date and time of your visit, sign your name, the purpose of your visit. You can check, you can fill in up to 3 purposes. Did you look in the medicine cabinet? Yes or no. You can do a little doodle, a song that best describes this bathroom visit. More than a feeling, push it, the sound of silence, hurt so good, blowing in the wind, good vibrations, ring of fire, or fill in your own song. Bathroom activity bar graph, shade in the amount of time spent in various activities. Time spent in the gazing in the mirror. Report card on the bathroom. So it just seems like a super funny thing, and I could use these pages as well as the backside, because on the backside of each page we have memorable moments and additional sentiments, so those also could be handy for journaling. I'm sorry, I'm laughing a lot over this. It's funny. Another one I got is one called Giving Thanks, a holiday guest book to fill with thoughts of gratitude. And so we have another guest book, and this has a lot of just little tiny illustrations with lots of room for writing. So this says, who adds joy to my life, or to your life? What are you grateful for? What will you remember about this year? And there are some pages with little quotes and different things. Oh, this one says, we bring so much to this table today. We bring hearts full of hopes and challenges, joys and concerns. We bring our complicated lives, our losses, our loves, our dreams come true. We bring ourselves whole and complete in the relationships that we share. We are linked, we are joined, we are held together by love, and for this we are grateful. Doesn't that sound so sweet? We also have these really pretty floral illustrations as well. So we can definitely get some use out of this book. There's also a card in here. Someone had gifted this book to someone called Ruth, and said, I have been so lucky to be a part of your family and to share your home. Thank you so much for being the best mother-in-law ever and grandma to my daughters. That's really sweet. Oh, and now I'm starting to worry about why this was given away. Ruth, I hope you're okay somewhere out there. This little book is called Tinker's Tim and the Witches, and it called to me because of the coloring on the very old paper. Just something to use for old paper's sake, and a couple illustrations here and there. And here we have a big honker of a book called A Treasury of Fairy Tales. I got this one for $3. I didn't see what the other ones were. Those were all $2 a piece. And this one, as you might imagine, has a whole bunch of fairy tales. So we've got illustrations and pages. For example, this here, I could cut out lines from the stories. I could use elements of the illustrations. There's lots of fun things. I also got really, really, really lucky and found scrapbook paper. So we have this pack that it has some embossed paper on it. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see this very well through the plastic, but we've got leaves and things here on this one. And there's an embossed quote that says, the family is one of nature's masterpieces. And then I've got 5 packs of scrapbook paper. The first 2 are really little, just a couple of pages. These actually are vellum sheets, little floral prints. And these are just some designed papers, some cute little pansies there. My mom loves pansy flowers, and I made her a junk journal, and I used pansies on quite a few of the pages. The other 3 packs are quite large, and they're all 12 by 12 papers. So this one you saw in the thumbnail. It just has fun vintage ladies on it, and the page on the front side has a bunch of buttons and things. So I haven't dug through the whole stack. Obviously, it's still encased in plastic. I'll save that for when I get back to my house so I can make a mess there. In this pack, we have some vintage aeronautics. This all says Lindy, Lucky Lindy Lindbergh, which is Charles Lindbergh. We've got those cool things there. And this side has stripes. And then this pack, we've got, on this side, we've just got some little clocks with apples in the middle of them. And then this page is Mad Hatter Tea Party from Alice in Wonderland, of course, and more illustrations from Alice. So I'm excited to see what other papers are inside each of these packs. They were all only $2 each. You cannot find scrapbook paper that cheap anywhere. That was like the steal of the day. Okay, so now we're to the bag from the Deseret Industries in Pocatello, Idaho. I was in Pocatello for a few days watching my nephew compete in the Idaho State Championship of the high school rodeo. He competed there in 2 events. He actually competes in 3 events, but qualified for state in 2. And in one of the events, he has a tendency to rip shirts a lot. So my sister and I decided to go to the thrift store and look for long sleeve shirts that he can compete in that are super cheap, so we wouldn't worry about them getting ripped. Well, you know me. Well, we had picked out some shirts, and then she goes, oh, I'm just going to go browse over here, maybe some church pants or other things for my boys. I went to the book section, and I'm really proud of myself. I only got a few things, because I already have like 9 jillion books for junk journaling. I don't need more, but while you're there, you just gotta look, right? Okay, so this one, which was $2, is a primary song book, and it is a very old song book. It's falling apart. It's copyright 1945, and it has cute little church songs for kids. One's called The Clock. One's called Jesus Bids Us to Shine. One is called Is the Story True? So it just seemed like a good way to get some sheet music for junk journaling. Another book that I got for $2 is this Richard Evans quote book, and quotes are always good for journaling. The paper is aged really well and has a beautiful patina on it, and we have a whole bunch of quotes from different places. It looks like a lot of these are from the Bible, but then we have some from philosophers, poets, historical figures. So for example, here's a quote by Michelangelo: "Death and love are the 2 wings that bear the good man to heaven." There's a poem from William Wordsworth, all kinds of fun things, and again, just beautifully aged paper. Now this last book, I was kind of actually shocked that I saw it there. This is the Emily Post Book of Etiquette. I don't know if you know about this, but Emily Post wrote about etiquette and the correct way to do things and behave in society, and this, the tagline is the Blue Book of Social Usage. The standard authority on correct usage and good taste in every activity of modern social and business life. Always the supreme authority on manners, this famous book answers all the latest questions arising from present-day conditions. Let's take a look at the copyright. It does have a really beautifully patinaed and aged pages as well. Where are you, copyright information? Okay, so this is the edition from 1942. Wow. First edition was in 1922, so this is 20 years after the first one. The contents include all different types of topics, but I'll just skim some of these through the table of contents. The true meaning of etiquette, good taste in the use of names, at the opera, the theater, and other public gatherings, manners for motorists. Maybe we need to like start a whole new YouTube channel just called Manners for Motorists and teach people how to not have road rage. Teas and other afternoon parties. Sitting room, convertible to bedroom. Oh, tells you how to set up your house. A bride's bouquet. American neighborhood customs. At the supper table. And so on. Oh my goodness. So I don't know whether I'll use this for junk journaling or if I'll like read bits to my students. That could be really fun. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was just flipping through this and noticed something. There are flower petals pressed into this. Oh my gosh, I wonder how long these have been in here. Oh, I don't want to break them. Okay, I'm going to be very careful and just try to space them out so they don't clump together. Bonus find. I did not see them in the store. Okay, so now we're ready to look at the books. Now, I realized in the craft supplies there was a lot of books anyway, but the books, like the new books that I got. Yeah. So I mentioned that I went book shopping with a friend of mine, and we have this tradition at the end of every school year, because we're both teachers. We go see a play, and we go book shopping at Barnes & Noble, which is near where the play was. So while we were there, I wanted to focus on male protagonist, young adult, and middle grade books. So I got 3. We'll start with this one, Rise of the School for Good and Evil. It is a signed first edition, so that's fun. And it is by Soman Chainani, of course, and it is, I think, a prequel to the Good and Evil story. So this says, the battle between good and evil begins. 2 brothers, one good, one evil. Together they watch over the endless woods. Together they choose the students for the school for good and evil. Together they train them, teach them, prepare them for their fate. Then something happens, something unexpected, something powerful, something that will change everything and everyone. Who will survive? Who will rule the school? So this book teaches us how the school for good and evil came to be. I got Spineless by Samantha San Miguel, and this one is about algae. This says, wild boar, alligators, hammerhead sharks. Can 12-year-old Algie Ensworth survive the swamps of South Florida? More importantly, can he survive his asthma attacks long enough to make a scientific discovery and fulfill his dream of becoming a real naturalist? With the help of Frankie and Lulu, the intrepid heiresses to the Hotel Paraiso, Algie embarks on the adventure of a lifetime as he escapes certain death, discovers a brand new species, and goes head-to-head with diabolical thieves, all while a deadly and mysterious red tide ravages the beaches and a possible curse threatens to close down the Hotel Paraiso for good. And then the third one I got is Adib Khorram's new book, Kiss and Tell. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I dearly love Darius the Great Is Not Okay, which is a book and its sequel, a duology by this author. This one is much more, or at least it looks like it's going to be much more lighthearted than that one. Alright, so inside the dust jacket we read, Hunter never expected to be in a boy band, let alone the kind whose exploits get splashed across tabloid covers. But now his band Kiss and Tell is on its first major North American tour, and life in the limelight is harder and more complicated than Hunter could ever have imagined. He can handle dressing up whatever the label tells him to wear and pretending to never have sex, and Hunter actually likes the chance to find community among the queer kids who come to the band's meet and greets. But when details from his personal life are leaked online, it spells trouble for Hunter's new relationship, for the perfect gay boy he plays for the cameras, and most importantly for Hunter himself. Okay, so you guys have heard me talk about the King's English before. It is my favorite bookstore in the world. It's an independent in Salt Lake City. And when I popped by there, I saw the cutest thing. They have this card outside called Blind Date with a Book, and you just Venmo them what you think you can pay. And I picked out this book here. So it is wrapped in brown paper. I have not opened it. It says young adult. A girl and a ghost and a man with no shadow. Set in Prague, written in verse, Jewish folklore. Just sounded super interesting, so now we get to open it up and see what I got. So this is The Ghost of Rose Hill by R.M. Romero. Oh my gosh. That cover. Alright, so let's find out more. Magic will burn you up. Sent to stay with her aunt in Prague and witness the humble life of an artist, Ilana Lopez, a biracial Jewish girl, finds herself torn between her dream of becoming a violinist and her immigrant parents' desire for her to pursue a more stable career. When she discovers a forgotten Jewish cemetery behind her aunt's cottage, she meets the ghost of a kind-hearted boy named Benjamin who died over a century ago. As Ilana restores Benjamin's grave, he introduces her to the enchanted side of Prague, where ghosts walk the streets and their kisses have warmth. But Benjamin isn't the only one interested in Ilana, though. Rudolf Wasserman, A man with no shadow has become fascinated with her and the music she plays. He offers to share his magic so Ilana can be with Benjamin and pursue her passion for violin, but after Ilana discovers the truth about Wasserman and how Benjamin came bound to the city, she resolves to save the boy she loves even if success means losing him forever. That sounds so interesting. Oh, can I read this like right now? It is a verse novel. I could probably definitely read this today. I mean, look at this. I'm very happy with my blind date with a book pick. Okay, I went a little bit crazy on this shopping trip. Who thought that was going to happen? And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more books to show you. Some I got at Target, some were other King's English picks, I believe. So we'll just go through these and see what we got. Alright, so this one is a King's English pick for sure. This was on their Pride display. And it is, so this is Ever After by F.T. Lukens. They write a lot of LGBT plus representation, kind of fiction, a lot of it involving fantasy and magic. And this one you can see we've got 2 cute guys on the cover. Eric, A-R-E-K, Eric, hadn't thought much about what would happen after he completed the prophecy that said he was destined to save the kingdom of air from its evil ruler. Uh-oh. Is this a sequel? This is reading like a sequel, like he already completed the prophecy. Eric hadn't thought much about what would happen after he completed the prophecy that said he was destined to save the kingdom of air from its evil ruler. So now that he's finally managed to somewhat clumsily behead the evil king, it turns out that magical swords yanked from bogs don't come pre-sharpened. He and his ragtag group of quest companions are at a bit of a loss for what to do next. As a temporary safeguard, Eric's best friend and mage, Matt, convinces him to assume the throne until the true heir can be rescued from her tower, except she's dead. Now Eric is stuck as king, a role that comes with a magical catch. Choose a soulmate by your 18th birthday or wither away into nothing. With his 18th birthday only 3 months away and only Matt in on the secret, Eric embarks on a desperate bid to find a spouse to save his life, starting with his quest companions. But his attempts at wooing his friends go painfully and hilariously wrong until he discovers that love might have been in front of him all along. Aww. Cute. So this has a blurb on the back from Ashley Poston, an author that I absolutely adore. And she writes, "Trust me, this is going to be your new favorite comfort read." I am so up for a comfort read. Okay, next up we have Casey West, Places We've Never Been. Casey West is a great author if you're looking for clean romance books about teenagers. She doesn't put smut into her books at all, and they're always well written, super cute, but easy to just hand to a middle schooler or a high schooler and say, here you go, read the story. Now, as I'm sitting here, I realize I'm not going very quickly through these books, so I'm going to try to shorten up and not read like the whole dust jacket. I am just going to read the little blurb at the top of the dust jacket cover. It says, "Friends to enemies to lovers?" ? And that's all I'm going to tell you. We're into the books that I got at Target now, and I'll start with the middle grades. We have A Wolf Called Wander by Roseanne Perry. It is about a wolf named Swift, and his pack is attacked by a rival pack, and he gets separated from his family and has to go on this journey to find his family, I believe. Yes. Will Swift find the courage to survive? Will he ever find a place to call home? This is based on a true story of a wolf named OR7, and often called Journey, a wild wolf who traveled a remarkable 1,000 miles across the Pacific Northwest. So there's actually a photo of OR7 here. Wow, his feet must be so tired. And then we have The Marvelers, which is by Danielle Clayton, another author that I absolutely adore. And this is about magical children. What I love is like the trolley cars suspended that are traveling back and forth up here. That looks so cool. And look at these end papers. Gorgeousness. The title of the map, or the title of this illustration says, Arcanum Training Institute for Marvelous and Uncanny Endeavors. So in the interest of trying to keep this short, I will tell you this book follows 11-year-old Ella. She is the first conjurer to attend the Arcanum Training Institute, which is a magical school. So this next book is my only adult book in the group. It is Verity by Colleen Hoover. It is different than the other Colleen Hoover book, which I've read, which is Ugly Love. That one's very much romancy, smutty kind of thing. This is meant to be kind of spooky. Our main character, Lowen, has been hired by the husband of an injured author named Verity. And Verity's husband, Jeremy Crawford, hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in this series that his wife was writing but is unable to finish. And so she goes through, gets to the house, goes through notes and outlines, etc., hoping to find enough to get her started, and she finds an unfinished autobiography that Verity never met anyone to read. Now, I don't know exactly what's going to happen, what she's going to discover. I've heard other people on YouTube talking about this book, saying they really, really enjoyed it, and it was super, super, super creepy. So when I'm in the mood for a creepy read, I'll know right where to find one. Alright, I believe the rest of these are YA, or at least I found them in the YA section. I'm not doing a good job of keeping these synopses brief because just going into that last Colleen Hoover book, it took too long. Do better. Okay. Alright, we have The Agathas by Kathleen Glasgow and Liz Lawson. Okay, I'm going to make myself keep it short. One sentence from the blurb. Welcome to Castle Cove, a town cursed with missing girls, bad boyfriends, family secrets, and some very steep cliffs. The Girl in the Headlines by Hannah Jane. They say she did it, she doesn't remember. The headlines say she killed her family. As it says, she doesn't remember. And 18-year-old girl accused of murdering. She doesn't know if she did or not. Dark and Shallow Lies by Ginny Myers Sane. In this town, magic runs deep, but secrets run deeper. It's set in Louisiana. 17-year-old Gray is spending her summer in a small town, and it is this town is the self-proclaimed psychic capital of the world, and it is also the place where Elora, which is Gray's best friend, disappeared 6 months earlier. Belle Morte by Bella Higgin. This is the first book in a series. The tagline says there's only one way out. Belle Morte is one of 5 houses where vampires live like celebrities and humans are paid to be their living donors. Our main character is a first-person narrator who says, I came in search of my sister who walked into Belle Morte 5 months ago and never walked out. However, the secrets about this world have proven to be much bigger than I ever anticipated. I got quite a few spooky/thrillery ones, didn't I? Mirror Girls by Kelly Mcwilliams, and this one says, I stopped breathing because ghosts are real, at least here in Eureka, where the veil is thin. This is about twin sisters Charlie and Magnolia, and they were separated after the murder of their parents, who died for loving across the color line, and we're now at the dawn of the civil rights movement. Charlie is a young black organizer in Harlem, and Magnolia, who is white passing, is the heiress to a cotton plantation in rural Georgia. That should be really interesting. And the last one is The Counselors by Jessica Goodman. We've got a blood-spattered bathing suit. I smell a summer thriller. So this book follows Goldie, who is a counselor at a very privileged summer camp. She lives in the small town where the camp is located near, and the camp kind of supports the town economy-wise, bringing in jobs, business, etc. Goldie is now there as a counselor, and she has a terrible dark secret that she has been keeping. Who's going to end up bleeding? Holy cow, that was a big haul. So thank you for sticking with me through all of the craft stuff from thrift stores as well as the new books. How is your summer going? I feel like mine is just getting started and it's already jam-packed with stuff. Like, I just need some time. I just need some time to chillax. And on that note, I'm going to stop filming and go grab a book and go chillax. I hope you guys have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.